Finally, an alternative to the Philips Hue sync box at a fraction of the cost. No hub required, simple to set up and configure, and it gives you the ultimate immersive viewing experience. Hi guys, today we're taking a look at a HDMI sync box. This particular product is by Lytmi and it's the Neo. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. So this is an alternative to the Philips Hue sync box, but at a fraction of the cost. 3 different size options available. I'm going to get this installed on my 55-inch TV. So let's open it up and see what you get in the packaging. You get a user manual, which is all in English. You get the HDMI sync box. There's 3 LED indicators on the top there. Looking around the sides, nothing on there in terms of buttons. And then coming over to the back, you've got a reset button, 2 HDMI connection points, 1 for output, 1 for input, and 2 connection points for the LED strip and a DC input. Underneath, you've got some vents and some rubber pads to stop it slipping on the surface. You get a HDMI cable which has gold-plated connectors on there and it's 92 centimeters in length. Cable feels nice and chunky. You get a power cable. The length of the cable is 150 centimeters. The output on this is 12 volts, 4 amps. And this is a power adapter for the US. As I'm based in the UK, I've been sent a UK power adapter and it's identical to the US one. You get some fixtures to attach on the corners of your TV, together with some sticky pads to attach them on. You get 2 rolls of LED cable, and I've already taken 1 off the reel. You get a USB connector on one end, and the cable length here is 1 meter, and then the LED strip is 2.35 meters. It's all waterproof with 3M sticky pads on the back. Let's make a start at setting this up. So coming over to the back of my TV, this is my LG OLED C1. We need to decide which side we're going to start installation from. So you can go either on the left or the right of the back. Doesn't matter which way you go. Really, it depends on what's convenient for you. I'm just going to go from the right hand side. I've got other cables going along that side anyway. There's 2 different types of corner adapters. So this one has A on there, this one has B. Now the A ones use as a starting point and the end point. So as I'm starting from that corner, I can have 1 LED going through that point, another one going through that one. Now, as I'm going up, if I need to curve around, that's when this comes into action. So that'll be at the top there, and this one at the bottom. And then another A piece would go at the other end, and that's where you'd stop. So one strip would be going like that, and then the next one would be going from there up, and then the LEDs can be cut. So let's get these stuck on so you can see how it's installed. Let's get the sticky pad attached on one of the corners. Simple as that. Let me get the others on. All 4 are attached now, and just a note, you get 1 additional spare sticker. Let's begin by attaching the first corner piece. So this is the piece type A. So it's just a matter of taking off the cover at the back and sticking it on. So I'm going to leave a slight gap at the bottom because I don't want the cables hanging directly off. So I'm going to feed them around somehow. So let's put it right to the edge here, and that's firmly in place now. Let's get the B-type corner piece on and just make sure it sort of lines up with the one at the bottom. The next one to go on is an A-type, and that will go in the corner there. And finally the B-type corner on the last end here. Let's begin with installing the first LED strip. Looking closely on the LED, you can see an arrow pointing upwards, obviously meaning you've got to go upwards there, or it will go that way. Now, to get this installed, looking in on the corner, there's a slight clip over here. All it is just a matter of getting this cable behind there. So if I put my nail in slightly, there you go, goes in. And then we can just stick the LED strip on. Coming further up, there's clips over here as well, and the LED strip just clips into there. Just nicely sits into position, and then we can just bring it around the corner. And again, more clips here, clips in, and that's it. Now we can just move all the way along to the end there. Now we've reached the corner at the other end. You can see the cut points we've got available to cut. I'm not going to cut it there. I'm actually going to cut it over here and feed it back just a little bit, just so we've got it as close to the edge as possible. So just take your scissors and just cut in the middle here. I've taken the LED off and restuck it, and it's actually worked out perfect. You can see there, cut point just comes in there. So we just need to lift this little plastic clip up and just feed the LED gently underneath, and it should just sit into place. There you go. There we have it. 1/2 is done now, and we just need to repeat the same process coming on from this side, going all the way long and then going back up. The LEDs are fully installed now. And now we can get the HDMI sync box connected up. So looking at the back, you've got the LED connection points. These are USB-A connections, and you've got side and bottom. So side is side over here. So the cable coming off there, we can just plug directly into that point. And then bottom is the cable over here. Then we've got the two HDMI connection points. Output, I can plug in the HDMI they gave. And for the input, I'm gonna plug in my Xbox. And then finally the power and the HDMI can be connected on the back of my TV. Let's make a start at setting this up. Now coming over to my Android phone, going to the Play Store, the app we're after is Lytmi. So one thing to mention, the device is a Tuya based device, so it can work with a Tuya app or Smart Life, but this is the app they've highlighted in their documentation, so we'll go for using that one. So I've already got it installed, so let me open it up. If you're using it for the first time, you'll be asked for your credentials. So I've already registered, and you can see here it's already picked up the device, and the way it's doing that is via Bluetooth, as my Bluetooth is already on. So I'll click go to add, and now we need to add it to our Wi-Fi network, and it's highlighting here only 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi is supported. I've entered my Wi-Fi password. Coming over to the HDMI sync box, and you can see a light flashing. That means it's ready to receive a config. Clicking next, click in this area, and it carries on. So let's give it a moment. The device is added in. We just need to pick a room it's going to be in. We'll just pick study room, complete. And there we have it, added in, as simple as that. Now if I select it, we need to complete the setup of this. So if I click confirm, it's initially asking for the type of system we're using. So it's a light strip. Next to this, now it's trying to work out the side we've installed it on, and it's on the left side. So next to this, next we just need to match up the colors shown in the picture with what's happening behind the TV. So it's matched up, so we'll just click done, and there we have it. Simple as that to get it configured. Let me show you around the functionality you get with the app. So you can see here, there's a toggle to turn it on and off. So if I click there, turns it off, click at the side again, turns it on. Going in there, this is the interface initially presented with. Clicking in the corner, you can rename the device, change the room it's in if you had multiple rooms. Device info, it will have basic info like IP address details, device offline warning. If the device does go off the network, you'll get a warning for that. Create a group, so you can group multiple systems together. Then you've got check the network, check for firmware upgrade, and remove device. Back from here, two main functions on here are screen and music. So in screen, just below that, there's three separate options, and that's related to the performance of the strip behind the TV. So if we go for a week, it will run at a slightly slower pace, normal, and then if you wanted the refresh rate of the colors to go very quick, you just go on high. Now let's just leave it on normal for now. Clicking on music, you've got three different options here. So spectrum, this is the effects you can get off that, and that's being picked up by a microphone. And then electronic, test 1, 2, 3, and finally listen. Test 1, 2, 3. So music sync options available on this. Let's go back to screen. Below this, you've got brightness settings. So you can take the brightness down on this, take it back up again. And then below that, you've got a power button, quick way of turning it on and off. It's currently on video, but next to that, there's some presets on here. So looking on rainbow, and then fire, read, firework, star, drip, particle, flow, ball, swing, breathe, and pure. Now next to taste, you've got color. Clicking on that, this is where you can select a static color. So you've got some default ones just over here. So clicking on there, you can see it flipping. And simple just to flick between the different ones. Then you've got a color wheel here at the side, so you can turn that, pick a precise color, move along here as well. Quite a nice interface on this one. And then obviously change the brightness levels from here for this. So very easy to make adjustments on here. Then you've got setting, and then you've got light type, light strip. And this is if you wanted to change the type here, back from there, and then setting. Then you've got setup side. You can redo that if you needed to. Going back into setting, and then you've got timer. So you can set timers on this. So if you wanted it just to come on at a certain time and then automatically turn off, this is where you can do it. There's no limit on the number of timers you can have. And coming back from here, that's all the options you have available. Now, one thing I can briefly show, if I turn off my Wi-Fi and my Bluetooth on here, give it a moment to connect to 4G. And now if I go in there, you can see I can make adjustments remotely as well on this. Clicking on screen, on music, you can flick between all the options. So no ports to open on your router, cloud-based connectivity. Now back from here, looking below, you've got smart. Clicking on there, you can set up smart scenes with this as well to interact with other devices. So like I said, it's a Tuya based product, so it can work with Tuya devices. If I click in there, one-click execution on the device, and these are different options you have available. So in switch, obviously on and off, mode, see the options there, brightness, get that adjusting. And the one here, clicking on that, different mode selections there. There you have it, that's all the function that's available on there. Testing this out with a color wheel initially, color representation looks really good. Not sure how much justice the camera can give to it, but watching it over here, the quality is absolutely amazing. It replicates the colors really well. Obviously, this is a slightly different product from things like Govee or even Ambivision, only because it doesn't need a camera. It's taking the signal directly from the HDMI, translating those colors and outputting out. So exactly how Philips Hue's product works. You can see for yourself, representation is very impressive on here and accuracy seems pretty good. Moving on to seeing some footage of a video, and again, color representation really impressive on this, and performance is good. Gives you a real immersive feel to your whole viewing experience. Obviously, you've got the colors bleeding out of the TV and going onto the wall in the background. And finally testing out some gaming on here. So you can see for yourself with some of the games I've got running, accuracy wise, really good. If you compare it to Govee and Ambivision, it's far superior to those, obviously, because it's hitting the LEDs much quicker than how they would. So all in all, really impressed with how this is performing. Just to show accuracy on here, I've got a red area, and if I bring the camera around, you can see it literally matches up exactly. So really impressive. Now, seeing the sample footage, it was pretty stunning. Now, one limiting factor of the unit is that it only supports 4K at 30 frames per second. So looking in TV and display options and going to 4K details, that's what it's reporting. It is saying your TV supports 4K Ultra HD at 60 Hertz, but it's actually only supporting at 30 Hertz. Now that's a bit of a shame. It would have been nice if it could support up to 120 Hertz. So it'd be the perfect unit really. But there is something you can do to improve on this. This is what you want to get hold of. So this is a HDMI splitter. So it takes one input, and that would be your source signal. So in this instance, it'll be my Xbox, and the output, one would go to the HDMI sync box, the other one would go to your TV. This outputs at 4K 60 frames per second. I did have a look for a splitter that could support 4K 120 Hertz, but there's no such product at this moment in time. So I'll include a link in the description below if you're after this, but this will improve things if you wanted to up that refresh rate. I've plugged in the splitter. You can see the two outputs at the top, input at the bottom, and there's a micro USB cable going into a USB at the back of the TV that's powering the device. And then looking in 4K TV details, it's still reporting the same details. But by using the HDMI splitter, you're guaranteed to get 60 Hertz. The HDMI sync box can work in conjunction with both the Google and Amazon voice control side of things. So coming over to my Android phone, let me show the Google side first. So clicking on the Home app, service you're after is Smart Life. You can see it down there. You'll be asked for your credentials, just enter them in, and then it's visible for you to control. So coming back from here, and there you have it, it's just over here. So if I click off, turns on, going in there. You can adjust brightness levels on this, take it right down, ramp it back up to maximum, and then going on color. This is one option that doesn't work. So if I pick a stationary color, it doesn't change to that, as you can see. So the main thing here is on and off and brightness levels, and that's all available on the voice control as well. Now coming back from this, let me show you the Amazon side. Similar thing again. Skill you're after here is Smart Life. Enter in your credentials, it'll link it in, and then go into devices, lights, and then scrolling down, you can see it here. Screen Sync Smart Light. So it's a shortcut to turn it off, turn it back on again, clicking on there. Brightness levels can be changed just like on the Google side. Going into color, same as before, you can't change the color on here. And voice controls available on there. So it's nice it can integrate with this smart side of things and very simple to set up and configure. Now I've removed the device from the Lytmi app just to briefly show that it can be added on Smart Life. Looking in Smart Life, you can see it there and functionality is identical on this. So in summary, really impressed with this sync box from Lytmi, a real alternative to the Philips Hue Play HDMI sync box at a fraction of the cost. Performance of it is really good, color accuracy is good, together with general performance when you're using it. The only real negative I can say about it, it's a shame it doesn't support 4K at 120 Hz, but I've shown you a workaround. You can get a HDMI splitter and get it to working at a maximum of 60 Hz on there. So still a good alternative, and hopefully in the future, if there's any 4K 120 Hz splitters available, you can just go for that and then ramp it up to make the most of this. And another thing worth noting is the fact that it only works on input signals. So for instance, if you had a smart TV and you were playing something directly off the TV, the HDMI sync box isn't going to be able to pick that up because it's not inputting into the device. So you'd have to plug in something like a secondary device, PlayStation, Xbox, Skybox, or a Fire Stick, for example, for the signal to go in so it can actually pick it up. But that's not a surprise, and that's exactly how the Philips Hue sync box works as well. So there you go, I hope it's helped anyone thinking of purchasing this. Details are in the description below, including purchasing links. If you're new to the channel, do consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so you'll be informed of my next release. Smash that like button as it really helps me out. Thanks for viewing and see you in the next one.